Good morning, everybody. And maybe in 1 or 2 minutes, we will get started. So just expecting some participants and 1 or 2 minutes, we will get started. And yeah, good morning, everybody. So,
Good morning.
good morning, Dale. Yeah.
Or afternoon here.
Oh, that's great. Good afternoon.
Good morning.
Good morning. So very good morning. So before few folks joins, hope the year started well, I believe, and wishing you all very happy new year. And you might have set pretty much good goals for your personal and professional engagements. I'm wishing you all the very best for your targets to achieve. And yeah, because typically this week only everybody has started effectively in 2026, and this is our first webinar we are hosting on this year, and hopefully we're also very much geared up this week only for 2026 journey.
Yes, Happy New Year.
Yeah, happy new year. Thank you. Yes, I think let me get started. And yeah, so it is 10:03, and I think I'm sharing my screen. And yeah, so once again, good morning all for this today's webinar. So the webinar is on goodbye to emulator installs and hello browser-based freedom. And I'm not sure like how far you would understood this topic. And probably we are going to deep dive today the way of user experience, the mainframe and AS 400 users experience, how they are going to access the system. So, if predominantly almost 70% of the worldwide transactions are running on mainframe, which we all know. So, but still, the mainframe and AS400 users, the way in which they access to the server or server-tied emulator becomes still 1990s, right? So, legacy. So, when you talk about this digitalization and digital era, and the true modernization lies in the modernization took place in all aspects about it, right? So today we're going to see how these user experiences going to change with browser-based freedom, where the user can able to get the better outcome and cost effectiveness, as well as and like desktop-based installs that we're going to see. And since almost your whatever the legacy system running a huge millions and trillions of transaction, when such a backend is going to be state of art, why not the access to the server becomes still old or still legacy, right? So we wanted to see how that can be modernized so that they can get a better benefit for centralized approach, secured, and also like a better outcome of accessing anywhere plus any devices, and of course with a zero installs, right? That's what today's topic about. And before we get into, for the interest of our time, let me complete my discussions or my sessions, and probably will keep you the slot open for the Q&A, and all the question and answers will be discussed, and we will be clarifying all your doubts. And by the way, before we get into the topic, and I'm Vijayalakshmie, and I'll be your host and speaker for today's session. So regarding myself, I'm almost having a 28 plus years of industry experience, and I'm predominantly working within mainframe application infrastructure and modernization related engagements. And pretty much my vision is towards the large enterprises to get transform their infrastructure and application, everything into the modernization journey. So mostly I'm passionate about Z systems as well as mainframe modernization expert. And this is about me. And we quickly get started with this agenda of the day. And we're going to talk about who we are, what we do, what are our services, and what are the tools or solutions we have. And we will be deep diving into the webinar topic. And we are going to discuss about what are the limitations or set with the traditional way of accessing the system, and what kind of a shift may be required to get into web-based access, and how that can be achieved with the automation. And of course, we are going to demonstrate lively with how we can able to do it through the automated migration. And of course, what kind of a business impact and ROI you may get it. And we'll be having a real-time success stories as well. and we will have a dedicated slot for Q&A to clarify all your doubts. And hopefully we'll be sharing on one survey form at this stage of Q&A. We request you to fill in. It will be very short. You can choose something, and that would help us to understand better, and we can also take it forward the next steps. And with that said, let me start this session. And regarding ourselves, we are VRNeXGen Technologies Private Limited, which is a future-ready innovation startup predominantly focuses on digital transformation, most predominantly legacy modernization for AS400 and mainframe-related customers on application and infrastructure modernization, ZDevOps enablements, data AI and agentic AI enablements, and across the enterprise, we set it up all kind of a transformation journeys. And we do have our own in-house mainframe lab, innovation lab, we call us, and it is installed and enabled with the latest ZOS 3.1, and which is a infused operating system, where we could able to take it any kind of an engagement with the client with end-to-end POCs and POTs performed, and then take it to the client end, right? So in a way, we are working with the real-time server with the latest modern tools installed for any kind of a modernization, ZDevOps, and AI and API first transformations. Okay, so and these are all the latest tools. We have an expertise, and we have in-house expertise and working with the client engagements. And and just quickly, little bit I'm covering through. And regarding when you say transformation, it's also AI also takes place, and we do have an AI innovation lab where we predominantly focus how the AI enablement with mainframe or AS400 going to work. All the AI specific components like Python and AI or Ansible, or maybe ZenAI capabilities, Z open automation utilities, all kind of things can be integrated with your legacy application so that legacy can be AI enabled. And of course, these are some of the credentials what we have to showcase our capabilities on data and AI perspective. So being a mainframe and industry leader for a long run, we do also have capabilities on data and AI expertise. And so these are some of our services or core capabilities where we predominantly help our large enterprises on the digital transformation or legacy modernization journey on mainframe application and infrastructure modernization, the kind of a cloud data AI enablements, and the emulator transformation and HAS transformations, which we are collaboratively working with some of the leading enterprise corporates, and of course enterprise ZDevOps enablement for any kind of a CI/CD orchestration, depending on the customer's choice, we can able to do that. We have that level of expertise, and of course AI and agentic AI enablement for any legacy applications as well. So, and as R&D is our continuous engagement we do in all aspects of the latest modern technologies and the industry demands. We have, these are all our in-house solutions or tools which will help for a digitalization journey or modernization journey in terms of automation. We have VRX, zMig TSS, ACF2, which are all the security modernization tools, and zMigEmulator, which is an legacy SCM modernization tool, and zMigEmulator is an emulator modernization, and as well as Lead ZenAI, Cellular X, ResumeLens, Learn, Buddy. These are all some of the AI-specific tools which we have, which will support our customer engagements or any sort of an automation which we can help for in-house as well as for our client engagements. Yeah, with that said, we will deep dive into this topic. And once again, so like whatever the legacy systems, what we call as mainframe and AS400 specific infrastructure and the applications are the core of your enterprise, right? So almost majority of the transaction runs on this. So recent days, we are everywhere, we are getting into modernization, but there is an area where how we are accessing. Actually, we are not coming out to any kind of a challenges as such. We are working as it is. But if you closely look into that also a part of the thing to be modernized. So that's the idea where we took this topic, and let's deep dive into it. So if you look into the legacy way of accessing, what kind of an issues or challenges you may face in, right? So these are all the things we got into when we face some of the client experiences. So the traditional way of accessing the mainframe is a desktop based. It requires an manual installations, manual upgrades, and it is also in scattered. All your credentials or your artifacts are getting spread across your thousands of users, individual client systems, and it is high licensing cost, and it's a very hard to maintain. There are so many tickets have been raised and we are addressing. So these are all the various limitations the customers are facing. But how this need to be addressed? It has to be architecturally shifted. So the way in which from decentralized approach for a desktop install to the centralized browser based approach, we have to change, so that whatever the artifacts they keep into the individual systems, they are into silos which have to be taken to the centralized approach, so that everything can be configured from a central locations, and which eventually the so many manual installs which we need to address. When you make everything into the architectural shift from an decentralized to centralized, from desktop based to web based, we can able to address all the issues. So we can able to shift with a web based approach. So there are some lightweight products or tools are available which will help you to keep everything secure, centralized, and you can able to make the secured installs, and it also cost effectiveness, and which becomes a ready for your complete digitalization journey or transformation journey with a modern web-based interfaces. So with that said, we are introducing zMigEmulator, which is nothing but an automation tool which will migrate from end to end whatever your installables are working with your desktop systems can be able to migrate it to be the modern system and modern web-based browsers. So which means when you talk about the modern systems, there are thousands of users, they have their own individual system. They might be accessing the multiple servers, and they would have set up some kind of an internal their own setups. Everything lies in their individual systems. So all those files have to be taken and consolidated, and it has to be migrated to the newer product, which is a web-based product. So if you think through, majority of the customers feel that how this is even possible, right? So how you can able to consolidate everything and to migrate. That's a major biggest questions, or we are also facing it. Is it really possible, and how you can do it in an automated way? So that's actually the major problem we identify, and for that problem we come out with our own solutions. This is one of the product we will come out with some kind of a recommended approach of consolidation, and then since there we will take care, and without disturbing the customer team, we could able to automatically convert into an target destination web-based browser tool. So in our today's discussion, we are going to talk about HCL software ZIE Web, which is a web-based tool browser to access your mainframe. And we also do the automation on migrating all the thousands of users from your desktop-based to web-based through automation. And everything happens through the automation way. All your file equivalences and the user definitions and the session definitions can be transformed, and you can feel seamlessly you can able to work from a web-based. Of course, you're going to see the live demo onto it. So how this has been performed, this is an automation pipeline. So the first thing is I need to get all the inputs from your the legacy desktop-based systems, where we will be collecting, consolidating all different types of file formats, what they maintain locally, and that will be put in the proper recommended format. And it's not going to be any kind of it's just a consolidation, and we are not going to do any kind of a manual editing or nothing. So there is no updates. It's just a consolidation of files and folders so that I can pick it from one place. That's it. And then we will have an automation logic, which our tool is written in such a way that with a thorough understanding of our target web-based solution, which is VRNeXGen is a solution partners for HCL software. So it is, we have a detailed, deep understanding of HCL ZIE Web product, and we can able to easily convert with your ZIE Web understandable file formats, and we can internally map it to them. And all your users and group creations can also be automated. And with the help of the product knowledge, whatever we have, and the sessions can be mapped. And of course, even the credentials can be continued, whatever the user credentials you have, you can even continue with the same credentials. Or if you want, probably since the migration, the credentials may be kept open, you can also, during the first login, you can able to change the credentials. So this is how it has been designed, and this is an automation pipeline set for this solution. And if you see the current system, how it looks like, there'll be thousands of people. For simplicity, I took a couple of people, and they may have their own keyboard mapping, their own workstation files, and they may be connecting with the multiple systems. For each system, there will be a separate workstation files. So it will be like this, right? So it will be lying in their individual's desktop. Okay, so this user has got few systems and few files. It is kept inside. So this is how it will be. It is spread across hundreds and hundreds and even thousands of users. So if you look at from an enterprise perspective, the whatever the thought we are getting it right, the customers are getting it's really it is like that, because thousands of users consolidating everything, keeping all the credentials and the artifacts is safe, and migrating is not an easy task. So this we are assessing completely, and we are going to take it from this stage onwards without disturbing the customer team. Okay, these are current artifacts. And our architecture is in such a way that we are just recommending some structure, how they wanted to consolidate. That becomes an input for the tool. And from there onwards, all your automation logic comes in and takes place automatically internally. And it just converts into and then migrates your users. So for a simplicity or for clarity, not simplicity, for better clarity, I'm taking into twofold, converting this into an HCL ZIE web-based understandable format, and then of course user and session migrations, we're going to take it. And so it's all automatic. So we don't want it to do any kind of a manual migration, and you can seamlessly access your system without any human intervention. This is how the tool is working. And so the recommended structure is just, we are consolidating all the user under one common group, and we call this as a group, and this group will be defined in your ZIE web, and then all the users will be put under that, because handling of a users with a group is easier. Pretty much all our security components in AS400 on mainframe works like this. The user will be associated with the group, and then group level access and user level access we use to provide. The same logic applies here. And so we can also enforce the security in terms of maintaining group level as well as user level from the centralized server-based method. Okay, so this is the recommended structure. We are consolidating all the users into a separate file format like this. And with this set, let us get into the live demo. Let my team share the screen for this demonstration. Yeah. Here you go. So, so this is our consolidated file and or recommended structure. So this is the folder where we have all the files. And if you can get into this, as I've told, this is a kind of a group we are calling as a parent folder. And this is will be created as a group in my target web-based emulator. So now all these users have been consolidated. Users files, all kind of an artifacts are consolidated into single folder. That's it. This is the only recommendation. So just quickly, we'll go through a couple of users file. So if you go for this user, I have a WS files or into WS, and all whatever the files they have, it will be in the separate folders. So this user has got multiple server access. And let me get into one more, and he has got one access, so you see only one file. And let me go for one more, probably. So you have multiple file or server accesses depending on their projects where they map. They may need to access the various server, and so accordingly there will be the WS file, workstation files will be created, and depending on their requirement, there will be a keyboard mapping file as well. Let's have a quick glance on keyboard mapping file. So let me see, like there isn't some kind of a keyboard mapping is defined, right? That's it. So this is the recommended structure. From here, we are going for our utility for automated migration. So let's get into we are going to kickstart our utility. So as I told, for a simplicity, I'm making twofold. First, I'm just showing you the how it is converted into HCL ZIE web format, and then probably how the users get migrated to get a better understanding. So otherwise, everything we can do it at the background, show you in single click, you can able to get into the target. But for better understanding, we are going into this one. Yeah. So this, when I hit this, it has been created or it has been converted into HCL ZIE Web Understandable Format or TIPEX. And so this, now let me get into this HCL Software's HCL ZIE Web, which you can able to see. So this is our web-based browser. So this is what we are calling as a browser-based freedom. So this is logged in with an admin console. And if you see all users, I could say admin user, administrator, and underneath I have two. And if you can quickly see that there are one admin user is there, system default, another one is no users. So this is this is what it is. Now we are going to see whatever the scope of the files we took, it is going to be migrated, and we can able to see how the users get migrated here. Let's get into this. We'll try to migrate the users. Yes. So as per whatever the requirement, we are going to migrate, and the logic is already been set. And if I trigger that, it is going to convert into this. If you see the group users and all the sections, whatever is defined inside the users have been migrated. Now let me come to this ZIE web. So to see the changes, whatever is updated, we are going to log out and log in again. When I log in, I have an admin access. Since it is a server-based browser, we have an admin console and the user access. So admin console where the administrator can able to collectively access all the thousands of users together from one single interface. Okay, this is the advantage you're going to get it. So from here, if you see post whatever the migration, all the users have been lined up here. And if I go for seeing the session, whatever the session we have seen, we could able to get it here as well through automation. So whatever the files we have viewed, we are also seeing it here. And yeah. So you see, with only without any kind of a manual intervention, single click, we can able to migrate here. So this is how the thorough understanding of the target tool and then our automation logic with which it has been migrated. So now this is an admin console. To test the access of user, we are going to log out from this admin console and log into the user. So to get into the user console, like this is an user access, so not an admin. So individual users will log in from this. This is a browser-based. User can be from anywhere, any place they can able to log in through this browser. And whatever the sessions were there, it is also mapped here. And like if I wanted to start the session or access the server, if you can start, yeah, here you go. So this is an emulator, which whatever you access in the old way, we are also accessing here. Okay. So, and right, anyways, once after this is remains the same, we're not going to have much. The same way, the keyboard mapping also have been tested and it is working fine. So you see the difference of here, the admin console. How can you quickly go to the admin console once, please? So when we talk about the browser-based freedom, right? So this is a centralized location where the administrator gets a single centralized position where he can able to control all the users, definitions, securities, everything can be controlled in one place rather than the various other locations. So these kind of a centralized approach, you will be getting it here, right? So this is about the what do you call a transformation or migration. Let me again go back to my session, my PPT. I wanted to just showcase few more and then come back again for the question and answer. I'm sharing my screen again. Hope you're looking at my screen. So now we have seen the demo and what kind of a value we have delivered here. So if you see the thousands of users, some manual means of migration is going to take weeks or months, right? No doubt about it. You can understand without any doubt. But this is going to be just a few hours or maybe days, depending upon how and what kind of an complexity is your existing system. Based on that, we can come out, but it will be very, if we assess, we can able to come out with a clear estimates as well. And the data integrity in terms of a manual means there is a huge error prone. The humans are error prone. It's a highly possibility of error prone, but it isn't 100% programmatic and it's a logic driven. There isn't 100% accuracy can able to get it. And deployment in the previous case, in the legacy way, there will be thousands of client installs you required and upgrades are required, and which has an additional effort for your IT support team. And also the security have to be managed with the individuals, right? Client desktop based. Whereas this is a centralized one dashboard interface where you can do the complete bulk provisioning. So this is a value we proposition, we can able to get it. And of course, so the business impact, what you can get if with respect to various factors, if you see, and if you see about the deployment in the desktop ways, you have a manuals, hundreds and thousands. If you have an 5,000 users, 5,000 installs, and every PC level you may need to do, just imagine how the effort is going to go here, right? Whereas when you transform, it is going to be very much faster. You can able to do the single dashboard, one interface where you can do it, and it is faster to the onboarding and new users as well, and do the updates. Migration effort, when you go for this manual, it is going to take you time, and it's an error prone. With the help of this utility, it is going to be an automated migration. So less time, and of course less kind of an cost is also labor cost is involved. So the maintenance, it's keep on any updates comes, you need to do at an individual level, patch updates. Whereas here it's a single server side, single interface where you can able to do it within minutes or so. You can able to complete. And about the profiles, like it since programmatic, it's 100% secure. And licensing cost for the desktop based, it's any product which is legacy is becomes a little expensive, it because you have 1,000 different users at desktop level. You need to set up the policies, you need to set up the license. It's going to be too much expensive. Whereas here it is going to be a less in terms of a licensing cost, in terms of an operating cost as well. Operating cost you reduce, and you will have a centralized advantage of getting a central interface where you can access, and you can set up a security, you can set up all your patch updates in the one location, and it is going to reduce your IT effort as well. Okay, so this is a business impact you will get it. And just wanted to showcase one of the success stories. So kind of a customer where we met us, and they're the large enterprise where they significantly faced an issue with the decentralized approach. They had 3,000 plus users connecting from various locations with the 3,000 plus workstations. So it's completely decentralized. So the managing this 300 users as touching upon the installation with the desktop level is a too toxic. And the data, the credential, whatever the server related artifacts is lying around the thousands of users, which is not highly secure, and data is working in a silos, right? And it is incurring a huge operational cost. So operation overheads is huge. So this organization need a streamlined shift towards your browser-based freedom by eliminating a manual migration. They want the browser-based freedom, and also they don't want to go with the manual means. They wanted to see the automation, right? So this is what the requirement is. So with that approach, so we took this transformation and we identified the gap, and to bridge this, instead of decentralized, we wanted to go for a centralized one. So that's where HCL software product ZIE Web is going to be centralized product where browser based we can do that. So it becomes a total architectural shift. It's everything is controlled by our server side and a single interface. Admin can able to do it with the user level setting, security setting, everything. And also the all your configuration files can be automatically migrated, and your any installs will be your kind of a server based. So no need to go to the individual system level and do all the upgrades, and doing audit it with the system level is also too toxic. The 3000 users system to audit is going to take much time, and there is an error prone as well. Whereas the central server based one is going to be highly secure and easy to audit, easy to install, update, and manage and maintain, right? So this is a transformation we could able to provide. So the successful completion is with the help of this, we can able to take it as a pilot for 500 users and then scale up to 3000 plus users to HCL ZIE Web, and with a kind of a zero manual intervention. And this utility can able to take it automatically, and the accuracy is also very good. And we could able to transform to all the users into seamless migration, and they can able to see the browser-based access from there onwards with their existing as usual. So this is the transformation we could able to provide. So this transformation benefits your zero downtime and centralized one. And of course, updates can be done globally from the server, not in the individual level. And the data, everything is kept in the centralized server-based configuration location. So all your system-based artifacts are secured in the centralized location rather than the data were lying in the silos. And the operational cost of managing all these thousands, there is a huge tickets were coming in, and the IT support team is get involved to serve these tickets as per the SLA. There is a huge maneuvers have been involved, whereas this is completely reduced. So which in turn reduces your total cost of ownership as well as total operating cost also will get reduced. So this is an advantage you can able to get it because of this transformation. So in turn, so I wanted to just give you a benefits whatever we achieved through HCL ZIE Web, which is a browser-based tool which can able to perform all kind of deployments with less time and zero local maintenance, and configurations can be retained as it is without any kind of a loss of data with whatever they maintain the legacy. That's the biggest problem, right? Whatever the definition has to be retained. That is the bottom line, the first priority. So this could able to achieve that automatically 100% without any kind of a lag, and which in turn reduce their current setup of whatever the operational activities they could able to reduce. And in fact, security can be highly exposed better with the help of these kind of an access. Okay, so this is an advantage we could able to give it. And yeah, so this is something like a strategic win from a legacy to modern. If we can address, we can perform, get the agility, browser-based, centralized, and security can be installed in a much better way. And our infrastructure may be feature ready, and we can able to lower our cost, operational cost, as well as total cost of ownership can be reduced. And so this is why do we, regarding ourselves, we are actually 25 plus years of industry experience with the architectural and leadership expertise. And we have in-house environments for showcase all kind of POCs for our client. And we have our own AI enablement or automation tools and frameworks. And almost 50 plus architects and engineers are available with us. And it isn't all kind of a modernization tools are proven within industry requirements. And of course, we have a better model to work with on-site offshore models. And we do have the strong uniqueness. What we have is continuous R&D for innovation. Okay, we have a continuous innovation which is happening across the vertical where we focus on. And as I will open up the forum for Q&A, prior to that, I wanted to just share, this is our webinar offering. Like in case if you are having any challenges right now, and you can, if you share your challenge, we can also come out and assess and build some kind of an automation for you at free of cost as kind of if we start engaging today or with this session. And or in other words, you're already into the modernization and you've faced some challenges, and we wanted to understand what it is, assess and try to fix that. And in case of any modernization skill gap, if you have, we can able to address it. And we can also ready for doing dry run for our automation solution for any kind of a pilot application studies. So this is about it. And let me open up the forum for Q&A.
Yep, I'll start. Vijayalakshmie, it's Dale from Genuine Parts Company. We currently have PCOM, as you know, and we're looking to move to ZIE Web. Will this migration copy all the user definitions across?
Yes.
It will. So it'll create all the users and then copy all their workstation files and all their KMPs and
Yes,
all the
Dale.
SRL files.
Sorry, I mean, your question is whether all the users' files will get migrated?
Oh, initially it's how do all the user definitions get set up in ZIE Web? Does the migration do that first?
Yes, through migration we will do it. Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
That was my question.
Yes. Any other queries?
Yeah, when you're talking about credentials to log on to ZIE, what credentials are you talking about?
Yeah, the credentials, since the whatever the demo we have shown is our own system artifacts, so we are using whatever the credential here can be same. We can log in with the same credential, or we can also have that option set to reset during the first login. So you will know you are the user. Like for example, your user ID you know, but password has to be secure. So you can try to set it up during the first login. We can enable either ways through automation. Either you can log in with your existing or maybe credentials you don't want to share, that would be the option to get secure. So in that case, you can able to set it up during the first login time.
So the password is stored in the ZIE web server?
Yes, yes, yes.
And if we wanted to share accounts, then can they be set up so they're read-only, so they can't change anything in the emulator or the keyboard?
No, you can do the changes. You can do the changes for the sake of migration. We are taking and we are using the same thing, or maybe it can also later tomorrow if you wanted to set it up with any kind of a central security server. Also, we can do it, but it is doable. It's not that you cannot change the password. It is you can change it. And as of now, when we are working with an ZIE Web, it will be stored internally to the ZIE Web server. Locations, artifact location, but it can be changeable.
But say 90% of our user base use exactly the same config. So same emulator, same keyboard. Can we share that one session amongst all that 90% of the user base and have it read only so they can't change anything in it? So we just have one user instead of having to create 2,000 users.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the reason Vijayalakshmie is we have lots of casual or temporary staff.
Yes.
So they share generic logins and things, and we don't want them changing it because then nobody else knows it.
Okay, that also can be doable by means of whatever the security algorithms with which we can able to incorporate. We can do that. You are talking about the temporary users credential. You will not change. That will be continued as it is, right? For the temporary users.
Well, just one session definition for a lot of users. But then we only
one
have to
session for a lot of users can be kept common and can be accessible. That is also doable. Yes.
But can it be set to read only so they can't change anything? Because if it's common and if one person changes it, they'd be changing it for everyone.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's doable. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. And definitely we will also connect over another call so that we can discuss much more any kind of challenges we can address it. And we will also schedule an individual call and we can able to get to know more about your thing and we can address it in a separate call. And you can just see we will be sharing our form. Like probably you can just I really appreciate your time spent today, and we wanted to have this form. The survey link has been shared. If you can able to quickly have a glance and go through it and fill up, and it would help us to understand like what kind of a from where you come from, what kind of an requirement you have, and accordingly we can able to come out with the next steps. And yeah, so there is one link where we have an survey form. You can share it, so that would help us. Any other queries?
Yeah, so we could do this migration on Sunday and send everybody a new icon saying, here is your new emulator, and it obviously goes to
we can
a browser.
Yes, it is doable.
Oh, so
you
you can do
to
that
see
from
the
within
icon,
this as well.
If you double click, it will open up the browser. Now we have seen from a browser. Instead, we can have an icon, and if you can double click, it will open up. That is doable.
Yeah, I know our problem is that we will do this, and for 2 weeks we won't hear any negative feedback because people will still have PCOM loaded, and they'll keep using that.
Okay.
And it's only when we take PCOM off their desktops via BigFix that the complaints will start rolling in. So it'll be interesting.
Right. Okay. Yes, Dale, definitely we can do that, and we can also connect over a call and to get to know more. Anybody, any other queries?
Normally, Vijayalakshmie, that needs to be a phased approach, right? So
Yes.
We will have a selected group of people who will have both PCOM and ZIE, and then subsequently
correct.
we will adapt to their needs, so that that group can have both temporary sessions and larger sessions as well, right? Temporary user sessions and the like.
Yes, it can be handled with the phased manner. With the less critical user group can be first migrated with both in parallel, and then understand and test it, and then take it for the next step with the wholesome user group in a phased manner. Yes.
Yeah, I was thinking a pilot group to start with, and then the other 4,500 all at once.
Yeah, right.
Sounds great, Vijayalakshmie.
Yeah, thank you, Dale. And anybody, any other queries? And I'm not sure anybody from LinkedIn have any queries. Can you check? No? Okay.
We have the Japanese team as well here. So any questions from the larger team? Or alternatively, you can shoot out an email.
Okay.
Okay. Currently, we don't have any more questions. Thank you.
Oh, that's Nidomi-san, right?
Yes.
Hey, okay. So you are comfortable with the migration approach that was discussed, right, Nidomi-san, for the larger user base in Japan? We can follow this migration approach, right, for people who wants to migrate, like what Vijayalakshmie explained. Okay, all good then, Vijay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. Hope you have filled up the form. I believe. Please do fill up that form, whatever is shared first. And of course, thank you so much for your valuable time here. And please do fill up, so that will help us to take it to the next step. And thank you so much for being with me today for this morning. For me, I'm based out of Chennai. This is morning for me, and somebody in the afternoon time. So thank you so much. And we are happy to support you on any kind of an modernization journey related engagements. And feel free to reach out to us through our email. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you once again.
Thanks, Vijayalakshmie.
Thank
and
you.
Suresh.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, Dave.